Good morning. My name is Paul Dalzell. I am the worship coordinator of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Charleston. Welcome all of you, our members, our friends, and if this is your first time here, we welcome you and thank you for joining us today. If you came here to be told all the answers to the big questions, you will be disappointed. We won't tell you all the answers here. You are more likely to find people who say, some of us believe that. What do you think? You may be sitting beside someone who's an atheist, a pagan, a Christian or a Jew, an agnostic, a Buddhist, a Hindu, a Muslim, a humanist, or someone who doesn't fit into any of those religious categories. They may be lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or trans, queer or questioning, intersex, asexual or agender, cisgender, or none of those categories either. What you will find here is a community of people, all different, yet all united in the shared values of justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity, all with love at the center, who will help you find the answers that are right for you. Please know that we welcome you, whoever you are.
Wherever you come from, we welcome you. Whoever you love, we welcome you. Whoever you are, we welcome you. Wherever you come from, we welcome you. Whoever you love, we welcome you.
Please check your insert in the order of service for goings-on here at UUC this coming week. One very important announcement, we are redoing our members and friends directory. We are creating a brand new members and friends list. You will see this prompt in several places. On the back of your order of service, you will see this announcement and a QR code. If you're one of the cool kids like me, you can simply scan that code at your convenience, fill out the form, and you're done. Once you complete it, you will not have to do it again, no matter how many times you see that prompt. Thank you. Also, as you see on the second insert, Save a Life Day, SOAR will be packing boxes to send around the country this week and into the next. The times and dates are listed. This is a way that you can make a real difference in people's lives. 6 years ago, we started with just 2 counties. 2 years ago, we sent boxes to every state in Appalachia, to all of Appalachia. Last year, we sent them to every state east of the Mississippi, plus 5. And this year, from this sanctuary, in this city with the highest overdose rate, in the county with the highest overdose rate, in the state with the highest overdose rate, we will be sending life-saving supplies to every other state in the nation. If you can squeeze 1 hour out of your busy week, or if you can join us every day, please come help. You will meet good people and may even have some fun. We will also be packing boxes next Sunday during the worship service. It will be a morning of service in action. Our reading this morning is Justice is Our Prayer by Rebecca Savage. We gathered together today with sacred intention to declare that justice is our prayer. We affirm in covenant with the beloved community that it is possible. Not here, not quite yet. The seeds have been planted time and again, and we remember all those who went before us to make this community a dream that could be realized. Justice is our prayer. May our time of worship together continue to water the budding trees of our diverse interdependence. May our time of worship give air and nourishment to the parts of our collective spirits that need to grow and thrive, then embrace equity as a known way of being. Justice is our prayer. We affirm in covenant with the beloved community that it is possible. May it be so. Let us worship together. Now, as Maria lights our chalice, please join me in reading the words in your order of service. To be a Unitarian Universalist means we'll never be done with the work of telling the truth about oppression, the work of resisting any laws, policies, or practices that deny anyone their humanity, the work of stubbornly seeking out the spark of the divine in each other, no matter what, the work of creating heaven on earth. To be a Unitarian Universalist also means we're not alone in the work. We are not alone because of our promises to love one another. We are not alone because we are companions on the journey. We grow ourselves into allies, helping each other get free, because none of us is truly free until we are all free. Now please rise in body, spirit, and voice as you are able for our Song for All, number 288. All our architects. Words will be on the screen.
Architects of fate, working in these walls of time, some with massive deeds and great, some with ornaments of time. For the structure that we raise, time is with materials filled. Our todays and yesterdays are the blocks with which we build. Build today that's strong and sure, with a firm and ample base, and ascending and secure, shall tomorrow find its place.
We come to this sanctuary, whether in person or virtually, to connect with our community. Thank you, Brian, for the cue. Sharing our joys, our celebrations, our sorrows, our concerns, our peace, and our needs helps our community become closer and stronger. And that is the community we all need in these times. Celebrating my sister's 5+ months of sobriety, yay. I think let's do this. Yeah. A family member has water and power again, thanks to family equity. That's good. A group of UUs had a great 2-night backpacking trip to Cranberry Wilderness last weekend. And the joy of picking okra and tomatoes from the garden and attending Elizabeth Hope's Monday yoga class. And on the oh no side, keep Shelley in your thoughts. She has to have a surgical needle removed next month. That is Cassie's sister. Sleep is for the wicked. I don't know what the rest says. I'm sorry. Feeling fear who must flee for any reason.
I have one that we didn't write, and
Okay.
that's, thank you, Paul, for helping Jonathan and I move.
Oh, it was nothing. Man, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Again, our landlord decides to let his property go and not pay for it, so.
And it was, you just
We've
moved
twice
in,
the past 6 months
what,
because.
3 months
Yeah.
ago? Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Ridiculous. Also have a joy for this and all the communities we are a part of, for those who hold us close, those who care, those we care for. And as always, a concern for all those who are unhoused and for the sad hearts of those who condemn them and make their lives harder. If you know, you know. For all these joys and sorrows, both spoken and unspoken, may we remember shared joy is multiplied and shared sadness is diminished. Our offering today, the words for it, are The Offering on a Difficult Morning by Elena Westbrook. Far too often, we are forced to confront the terrible things that people can do to each other. When these things happen, all we can do is come together in places like this sanctuary to remind ourselves that there is still hope, there is still love, there are still good-hearted people who can look unblinkingly into the storm and continue to believe a calm, bright morning will come. This community is a refuge where we can keep the ember of hope alive when all the world seems intent on dousing it. And then we can use our little ember to light a beacon for the rest of the world. Our offerings each week sustain this community so we can share our small embers to light a dark world. Please give generously so that we can all together help spread that light.
ever-growing talent.
Our meditation today is Meditation on Broken Hearts by Thomas Rhodes. Let us enter into a time of meditation, contemplation, and prayer. Feel the earth beneath your feet as it supports you. Feel the love of this community as it surrounds and enfolds you. Feel your breath as it flows in and out of your body. Listen to your heartbeat. Listen to your heart. And how is it with your heart? Does your heart feel whole, shielded by intellect, cocooned by reason, closed to feeling? Or is it broken, fragile to the touch, brimming with the pain of loss? Or has your heart been broken and healed so many times that it now lays open to the world, knowing that true growth comes not with pain, that tears may wear down barriers, that we may carry the hearts of others even when our own is too heavy for us to bear? None of us has an unblemished heart, not one. For such perfection can be found only in death, and we who are alive still have much to heal. So let us give thanks for the broken places in our hearts and in our lives. For it is only through such brokenness that we may truly touch one another, and only through touching one another that the world may be healed. Let us give thanks for the brokenness that we share. The first principle, which we affirm and promote, states the inherent worth and dignity of every person. And our shared value is, we declare that every person is inherently worthy and has the right to flourish with dignity, love, and compassion. Just over a year ago, I began a series on our new shared values, which had just passed at the 2024 UUA General Assembly and has supplanted our 7 principles in Article 2 of the UUA bylaws. You might remember the mnemonic for the shared values, Jet Pig. The values are justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity. Jet Pig. According to Merriam-Webster, equity means everyone is provided with resources specific to their needs to be successful. Equality, on the other hand, means everyone is treated exactly the same way, regardless of a person's needs or other individual differences. As in the picture on the cover of your order of service, equality means everyone gets the same box to stand on, and equity means they get the number of boxes they need. Justice might mean tearing down the fence that caused the problem in the first place. Declaring that every person has the right to flourish with inherent dignity and worthiness does go along with both of our first two principles, leaving out justice, which is then included in its own value. I like that. There are two main reasons I wanted to talk about this shared value again. First, that our government, both state and federal, have ruled that equity, along with diversity and inclusion, are verboten. This means if they are against those, that they are in favor of racism, misogyny, homophobia and transphobia and prejudice, the unfair treatment of people, and excluding people who are not as they are not white, wealthy, and male. Not only have they said they, the government, will no longer follow DEI guidelines, but they're ostracizing and even suing companies. They're also withholding funds and suing universities that do follow them. Our government's treatment of brown people has certainly not been equitable since January 20th. People are being picked up off the streets from their homes and work sites because of the color of their skin. You all know I work with SOAR. This week, because Kanawha United Presbyterian's gym is so hot, we are doing street outreach instead of holding our mutual aid fair at the usual place. We will meet our people where they are rather than asking them to come to us. Just wouldn't be fair to make them sit in a hot room for the little we can give them. And speaking of equitable treatment of those who are unhoused and our government, that brings up the federal takeover of Washington, D.C. This week, Caroline Leavitt said homeless people will be given the option to leave their encampment, to be taken to a homeless shelter, to be offered addiction or mental health services. Those who refuse will be susceptible to fines or jail time. Locking people up for the crime of being poor. After defunding the shelters so they have nowhere to sleep, defunding food banks so they have to ask for food, closing job fairs so they have no work, and those mental health services mentioned, those were mostly cut decades ago. But again, they are talking about institutionalizing people for being poor. As has been done right here in Charleston, locking people up so tourists don't see them. So Trump doesn't have to look at them on the way to one of his private golf courses. Now from a mini sermon given by our friend, Reverend Ollie Snow, on TikTok. It's a good one. Jesus saying, "That which you do unto the least of these, you do unto me," is essentially the same as, none of us are free until all of us are free. When Jesus, Ollie says the least of these, he's not saying these people are not valuable. He is saying they are valuable, but are being treated as if they are not. In D.C., we are seeing attacks on homeless people, on children, and on prisoners. In 2,000 years, Reverend Snow continues, not much has changed. Remember, Jesus was talking to people who were living under the rule of imperial Rome, people who were oppressed but were still treating the people they saw as the least of these poorly. Jesus saw that if we want to start dismantling the systems of power, that is where we must start, with how we treat the least of these. Because as long as the tools of power to oppress the least of these exist, then the tools to oppress you exist. If homeless people are being rounded up, then they have the infrastructure to round you up. If they have the ability to treat teenagers like adults in the prison system, that means they are funding the prison system. Solidarity is the recognition of the interdependence of all of our freedoms. We don't just have to look out for the least of these because it's the right thing to do. We must look out for the least of these because we will never be free until they are free. We must realize that until our neighbor is free, we aren't either. We are in this together. Homeless rights, trans rights, prisoner rights, immigrant rights, the rights of Palestinians. All of those people's freedoms are directly intertwined with yours. Your freedom depends on the freedom of these. Reverend Oliver Snow. Ollie will be back with us in September, by the way. I'm really looking forward to it. Now, the sticky part of our equity value and our first principle. We declare that every person is inherently worthy and has the right to flourish with dignity, love, and compassion. I find it easier to see the inherent worth and dignity in those who have no home than I do in, say, a Stephen Miller or even our criminal in chief. When we come across someone whose goal is to hurt others, to rid this country of everyone who does not look like them, then what is their worth? Or even worse, why should we allow mass murderers of children dignity? That's a hard one, isn't it? Let's first remember that our principles and values are something to shoot for, to strive for. Something that can challenge us and engage us and even frustrate us. Our covenants are promises and important to uphold. We try to live up to our principles and values. The Reverend Jane Thixton from the Unitarian Universalist Church of North Hills in Pittsburgh wrote about the first principle in 2021. She first looked at our history on why this was included. She wrote, this first principle is the very foundation of who we are as Unitarian Universalists. It was what caused the separation from the Trinitarians when our faith was just forming. We grew apart from our siblings in faith over the view of humanity. Coming out of the context of Calvinism, which believed only an elect few are saved and the rest of us go to hell, and which believed that Jesus was divine and we were not, Unitarians lifted up humanity because they saw the divine principle in human beings. The Trinitarians saw this as denying that Jesus was divine and called us Unitarians for that. But really, we were lifting up humanity to the level of Jesus, not demoting Jesus. The first principle revolves around the doctrine of original sin, the idea that we are all sinful at birth because Adam and Eve ate the apple from the tree of knowledge. Unitarians believed, indeed believe, that we are all innocent at birth and can lose our way but don't need to believe a Savior died for our sins in order to save us. This view of humanity has always been the hallmark of the Unitarian faith. The Universalists arose at about the same time, also in contrast to the dominant Calvinist faith in this country. The Universalists formed a denomination based on the doctrine of universal salvation, the belief that everyone would be saved. In their case, it wasn't because they thought so highly of humanity, but rather they believed God was too good to condemn anyone to an eternity in hell. Thomas Starr King, who served both Unitarian and Universalist congregations, famously said, "The Universalists believe that God is too good to damn humanity, while the Unitarians believe that humanity is too good to be damned by God." It doesn't matter what you or they have imagined salvation or damnation to be. The fact that everyone gets equal treatment is what's important. The first principle is thus foundational to both our parent faiths and to our current merged incarnation as well. I believe, says Reverend Thixton, it is the theological foundation that underlies all the other principles and defines us as a unique religion. We are not a philosophical society that embraces our religion. Ours is a religion in its own right that, while open to learning from other religious traditions, has its own identity. And that identity is encapsulated in the first principle. She goes on. It is important to note that the worth and dignity we seek to affirm and promote is inherent. It is inseparable from our being, from our existence. It has nothing to do with what people do. It is what they are. No matter how we behave, we cannot lose our inherent worth and dignity. Many of us learned early on that our worth depended on what we did. Our behavior determined whether we were good or bad in our parents' eyes often. Many have spent decades unlearning that, some through therapy, some in self-reflection, and some have yet to realize it. I'll say it for those who need to hear it. Your worth does not depend on your behavior. You are of value no matter what you do. When you truly internalize that and believe it in your core, it should be enough to redeem you, to enable you to find your way again, to enable you to love and to be loved again. That covers you. But what about those people I mentioned earlier? Don't they forfeit their worth and dignity by such heinous acts? Don't Hitler and Miller and mass murderers and worse cut themselves off from humanity by their deeds and by their intentions? Don't they lay their humanity aside when they do such evil things? The answer is no. Worth and dignity belong to every person. It is inherent. That's the key word, inherent. It's not something that can be laid aside, no matter what anybody does. That doesn't mean people shouldn't be stopped when their behavior is destructive. By all means, stop them. But they still have inherent worth and dignity. We all have good and bad, some call it evil, inside of us. We have baser tendencies sometimes. When we don't acknowledge our own stuff, we can't control it. Our recognition of the inherent worth and dignity of others is intricately tied to our recognition of our own inherent worth and dignity, and vice versa. If I can't see it in myself, I'll have a hard time seeing it in others. The first principle is demanding. Do we always live up to it? Of course not. It is something to strive toward, an ideal, a belief that can guide our actions. Reverend Thixton concluded, by affirming and promoting the inherent worth and dignity of others, by behaving toward others as if they matter, recognizing and honoring their worth, respecting them no matter what they do, we can facilitate healing. We can help others see their worth and realize their potential. And in the process, we see our own worth. We can make a difference in the world. May we do that for ourselves and for each other every day. Let's sing again. Oh, thank you. Again, rise in body, spirit, or voice as you are able for our last song for all, number 315, This Old World.
This old world is full of sorrow, full of sickness, weak and sore. If you love your neighbor truly, love will come to you the more. We're all children of one family. We're all brothers, sisters too. If you cherish one another, love and friendship come to you. This old world can be a garden full of fragrance, full of grace. If you love and neighbors truly, we must meet them face to face. It is said, now love thy neighbor, and we know well that it's true. It's the summer of humanity, you for me as well as you.
Our closing words today are, be the light that bends the arc. Friends, I'm frightened by what I am watching our nation become. We are becoming a nation where armed, masked police are kidnapping people from the streets, from their workplaces and their homes. We are watching in real time as our leaders are using the military to take over cities, arresting and institutionalizing people for the crime of being poor. I feel helpless. But we are not. By embracing our shared values of justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity, all with love at the center, by doing a little every day to help another, to help those who have less, we are resisting the oppressors. The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. Martin Luther King Jr. borrowed that phrase from Unitarian minister Theodore Parker. It's not just a statement about the future, but it's also a call to action. Reverend Parker and Reverend King are saying that we must actively work to bend the arc, of the moral universe towards justice, rather than patiently waiting for it to happen. We can do that work in many ways. Kind words and sincere thank yous help. Volunteering to save lives by packing boxes with naloxone this week, right here, is a great way. Letting our elected representatives know that we do not agree with their vision of America that's not ours will also help. Keep the light of this chalice in your hearts this week. Share it as you move through the world. Be the guiding light that bends the arc. May it be so. Luck.